Hello, I'm Luxarkana and I'm getting really worried right now because I think something is off with DaVinci Resolve. I just updated it to the latest version and now it's corrupting my audio when I record it. And I started working on my last homework paper for my bachelor, and thus I started working on my bachelor paper, and I do not have the headspace right now to figure out why the hell DaVinci Resolve decided nope, I'm not recording your audio. So if at some point I'm not talking, this is why, and I'm really, really sorry, but I I don't know what to do right now. Just my audio keeps corrupting, and I'm pretty sure that my mic is fine because if I do something with what's it called? Um, if I do something with OBS, everything works. On the streams, everything works. I think it's a problem with the new update from DaVinci Resolve, and I probably have to wait for a hotfix. So I'm really, really sorry if for the rest of this you're only going to hear music, but I can't do anything about it right now. I'm really sorry. Okay, so I restarted everything and things got worse, like exponentially. Help! That was my fifth attempt on that line. And right now it seems to work. I don't know how. This is magic, whatever. I'm just hoping it will work. To be honest, DaVinci Resolve is awesome and it usually works perfectly. I have no goddamn clue what's going on right now. I literally just updated it. I'm hoping that it's just, something with the new update and in the I don't know, maybe there will be a patch soon that's going to fix this, but I'm really freaked out right now because corrupted audio is really freaky. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to try to record a little bit about it, and if it won't work anymore, you will get music. I'm really sorry, but uh, I've said this like a million times by now because I've been repeating this over and over again because the audio kept corrupting. But I'm working on my last paper for my bachelor, and thus I started working on my bachelor paper basically because it is, the one issue kind of ends in another, and that leads to my bachelor paper and everything. And in the end, right now, I don't have the headspace to deal with corrupted audio because that can have like a billion issues, and I'm not. This is something that I cannot keep up this week. I'm really sorry. So if at some point you're just going to hear music, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm really trying my best here. I'm going to try to talk about the build again, but every time I did that one in the past, my audio just got corrupted. So here goes nothing, I guess. Uh, at first, I tried to move it this way. As you see, this is not working out at all, and I hate how it looks. But eventually, I found a way to do it without the shelves. The look that I'm going for is replicating another reference picture that I found of this modern-ish style that has this Japanese vibe to it. And right now, I'm really falling in love with the style. I'm feeling a lot more confident building with it, and I'm feeling kind of happy when I build it and everything. I'm really getting a lot more comfortable with it, and thus also the roofing. I really wanted to like get it to the point where it looks like the reference picture, just because I like the style so much. I really, really want to try and mimic it as much as possible. When I was starting to paint the walls, that was like the final straw where I noticed, okay, nope, I cannot do this. I have to roof this differently. And I think in the end, it turned out pretty amazing, and I kind of love how the roof turned out. The only thing that I don't love is that it's a little bit glitchy, but that's a Sims 4 problem, not mine. Okay, here's to hoping that the audio issue just magically resolved itself and I don't have to keep up with this. So I'm just going to keep talking because thus far it's working. I don't know how, but it's working again. So knock on wood, my head. Anyways, talk about the Japanese-ish save file. As you can see, I'm working a lot more on Oasis Springs. I've been working on stream to try and finish Willow Creek because I don't want to spoiler you, because I've already finished a lot of builds in Willow Creek itself. So if you want to see some of the Willow Creek builds, you can you can join me on my streams on Twitch and maybe even give me some input and inspiration. And if you want to see something specific in the Japanese-ish save file, you can tell me there, tell me live, and get an influence on the whole thing if you want to, of course. So yeah, the build was inspired by the same building style that I already used around the neighborhood in Oasis Springs here. And yeah, as I said, I'm really feeling more comfortable with this specific modern build style. I really like it. I think I can kind of now not only replicate reference pictures, but also create stuff on my own. Like all the backs of the houses and stuff like that I have already created. So I feel a lot more confident with all of this. And I'm actually having a lot of fun learning this and building this. Especially in this house, I learned a lot of new tricks. The roofing was really something else. It was quite challenging, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, I am just having a blast with this building style, and I think it fits perfectly into Oasis Springs. Yeah, and for the garden, I again used a lot of bamboo trees, but I also used a bunch of cacti because we're still in Oasis Springs, and I feel like this is really appropriate for the area. So that was my thought process on the gardening here. Again, if you're interested in downloading this build, you have to be a little bit patient because I will only upload this build after the Japanese-ish save file will be uploaded too. So you have to wait until I finish the base game worlds. If you really want to have this build and cannot wait to have it in your game, you can totally try and replicate it. I included some screenshots at the end of the floor plan and everything, so you should be able to do that from the screenshots. So yeah, for the build, I used the base game, of course, and I also used Snowy Escape, and that's basically it. The other items are not there to make it functional. I used one item from Seasons, the thermostat, and I used one item from Island Living, the floaty in the pool. And I think these items are kind of not really necessary for the build to be functional, but if you have these packs, they're kind of necessary, because if you live in Oasis Springs and you don't have a thermostat, your Sims are literally going to die from the heat. Not kidding. I've been playing a little bit in Oasis Springs again lately, and boy oh boy, the thermostat really saved my booty. And as for the floaty, I feel like when you have Island Living, you just want to have floaty in your pool because they're amazing and they're so cute and I love them and I just want to include them. And I feel like even in a pack limited save file, there should be like essential gameplay items that you need if you have these few packs, because I feel like a lot of people buy themselves Island Living because it's cool, or they buy Seasons because Seasons, it's kind of one of the most amazing packs to have if you can only have one. So I really feel like including these essential gameplay items is a good thing, even though everything else you just don't need. The only two packs that you need for this build to be functional are the base game and Snowy Escape, and everything else is completely optional. So yeah, that's also set for the save file. For the save file itself, I will have 3 versions of it. One that will be base game and Snowy Escape only to be functional, but if you have packs like Seasons, Island Living, etc., there will be the essential gameplay items in the houses, so you don't have to add them yourself. And of course, if you have stuff like what's it called, spa day and stuff like that, I will also include those venues, or at least I will include an open spot for those venues so you can get them yourself if you have the packs. I will figure that one out later, because it is quite difficult to think about what is convenient for a pack limited world and what isn't, because I already know that for a Japanese-ish save file, I definitely need Snowy Escape, otherwise I can't do it. But on the other hand, there are packs where I'm feeling like, okay, I kind of really want to, implement this one thing, like, for example, a spa, or I want to really implement this other thing, but it's pack limited, or I need this one item for this one family and stuff like that, you know? And so it's sometimes a little bit tricky to figure out what to put and what not. So if you're interested in ever making a limited save file yourself, these are things that you have to keep in mind. The other two versions of the save file that I'm going to make are one that is of course pack unlimited. So if you, for example, play on console and have almost all the packs, you can download this version. And on the other hand, if you barely have any packs, you of course can take the pack limited version, or you can take the custom content version if you're on PC, because I will also make a version that has some custom content in it. For example, custom content clutter and some more Japanese themed custom content, just because I really feel like they could have done a lot more with the Japanese theme in this pack. I'm glad for what we got, but I think it's not enough to represent the culture. And that goes for a lot of cultures that they're trying to represent. They're just doing, well, kind of the bare minimum, which of course I'm grateful we have it at all, but at the same time, I want more, you know? And I think this is a common criticism for this one, so I'm just going to let it stand like that. So yeah, for the floor plan, at some point I decided I have to have a bigger bathroom to make it work, because as you can see, I'm really struggling with the floor plan. I cannot decide where I want to put the living room and where I want to put the dining room. And at the end of the day, I'm really glad how it all turned out. I'm glad that I extended the bathroom, because that way I could also put a shower there. And of course, at first, I completely forgot that we got this amazing glass separator in Snowy Escape, because I always forget that this object exists. It's an amazing object, but I think it's tagged in a very inconvenient space. That goes for a lot of items in The Sims though. I kind of wish that just like in basically every program, you could make like your own folders of stuff that you often use, or that you like think of being in a different category. For example, these shoe racks and stuff like that. I don't think of them as clutter. They're for me, they're like, okay, they're essential items that need to be in every house, because where else are your Sims going to have your shoes? Plus, they actually now have that one gameplay feature where you can decide on whether your Sims should wear shoes inside, or just house shoes, or just socks and stuff like that. So I think they're really essential gameplay items, you know? And I kind of wish we could just make our own categories. And like one solution that I thought of was making rooms with essential items that I know I'm going to use a lot. But the downside to that is I would have to save them as a room and not have a category where I can pick them from. But I guess that's only a little pet peeve that I have, but you know, I kind of feel like getting it out of my system. Okay, so the audio is getting a little weird again, so I'm just going to hope it will be okay again, please. We've gone almost 14 minutes with no real issues, so please work with me, program. Please work with me. I want to tell some more stories, because I would really love to have a favorites function in The Sims where you could just favorite items. You know, I think that's a better concept than making yourself a folder with your favorite items, to just have a button where you could put them as favorites, just like you do when you click on your Sims' inventory, but just that for build mode, you know. A little bit more about the build though. On the upstairs level, you have one toddler room, one kids room, and one parents room. For the toddler, of course, there's a bathtub downstairs. The build only has one bathroom, though I think that if you make the toddler room a little bit smaller, you could fit another bathroom upstairs if you really wanted to. In my experience, if you play with 4 Sims, you probably only need one bathroom, so I only included one bathroom. Of course, your playstyle is completely different than mine, but from my experience, one bathroom should be enough. If it again annoys you, there's space for another one. I just didn't include one because I didn't feel like it, and I think it's nicer to give the toddler a bigger room. In the save file itself, this house will be empty, so you can immediately move into it if your family has 60k. Again, this is a home for a family with 60k, with 2 parents, 1 kid and 1 toddler. I did not include any pet stuff right now because I kind of feel like I personally don't often play with pets immediately, and my personal playstyle is that I adopt them later on, and I later on think about where I would want to put their beds and their boats and everything. So I kind of want to leave that up to you, because I feel like a lot of players also have like specific demands on where, for example, the litter box needs to be. For example, in my experience, it's totally fine to put it in the bathroom, but in a lot of times in builds, I just don't have the space in it for the bathroom. So sometimes the cat litter box just ends up outside, and I'm not sure if everyone feels okay with that and stuff like that. So I don't think I will include too many pets everywhere. In the house across the street, for example, I originally made it for a sim and his cat, so that's something, but you know, we'll see how it will turn out in the safer in the end. So yeah, I don't know how, but the audio somehow worked again, and we're at the end of the build now. Enjoy the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the build. Again, if you want it, you have to wait for the Japanese-ish save file to come out first. And if you want to help me build it, give me inspirations, or just want to watch me build live, you can do that over on Twitch, link in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it all, and I see you in whichever stream, video, build, or whatever you will watch next. Bye!